Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. You know, there's an old phrase that the sourdough gold miners use that says you should never leave gold to go in search of gold. But if I followed that philosophy, nothing would ever be discovered, no new adventure would be had. We've got a little bit of a special treat for you today. We were contacted by a couple that have quite a bit of acreage, and they said that they've had sightings on their place and heard a lot of wood knocking and screams and noises, hoops and yells. So we told them we'd come out and walk around and check it all out and see if we could find any indications of any types of activity or sign. A little bit muddy and nasty here right now, but it is what we got to work with. You can see it's got some debris where some people have been coming back here dumping, and that may be part of the intrigue or interest where Sasquatch has been coming back here kind of rifling through the stuff that gets dumped out. I don't know. If we can find a way to get down here and get across this creek, I want to go up in those hills and look for prints and look for signs and any kind of tree structures. Or she's trying to point something out to me here.
You want a place to cross?
Yeah, there we go. We'll try it right here. Well, I guess if I wanted to have a squatchy place to go look around in, this is about as good as it gets. A1 tracker is already pointing out some imprints in the little gravel path, and you run your finger around it again.
So there's what I see as a heel. Looks like toes. Not sure, but maybe.
So on the other side of this woods there's a farmhouse and a pasture and some goats and different things out there, and apparently a couple of them have disappeared.
Definitely muddy.
Follow this little four-wheeler trail for a minute and try to find a good spot to walk up through there. And X right there.
You could follow this deer trail, or
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. That little deer trail running up through there.
that puts about the size of Junior. You know, comparatively, if it's not having on room of their own.
Now let's walk down just a little bit farther before we head in.
Hardly know how to walk without a bucket.
Yeah, there's no extra baggage today, no buckets, no treats. We're dealing with an entirely brand new one, so maybe one, maybe more, we don't know yet.
Frog.
Yeah, but they said that they've heard them at nighttime out here just screaming and whooping and carrying on. They think what they've heard is more than two. But this is a pretty large tract of ground, so it's not going to be something we're going to cover all in a day. Well, so far I'm not really seeing any of the little ground glyphs or anything, but you know, ours really didn't start until we started paying attention to them back there.
Yeah, when they showed up, everything else started kind of developing.
But when all else fails, look around the muddy bottoms. That seems to be their corridors and travel ways. Yeah, just keep an ear out in case you hear something through the brush, because there's rocks and boulders everywhere. They got ammunition laying all over the place. tree bend right over there. It's been there for a while.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, be careful going down that hill. Every time I see this, it gives me the itch to break out the gold pans.
It's pretty.
Yeah, another X laying over there.
What to make out of that? That'd be like heel first, in a really soft spot though. Or I don't know. I'd be afraid to say on that one.
But the ground's a little different here. There's a lot more hard packed gravel and clay mixed in with the hillsides than what we have down there where we're at. It's a lot more muddy.
What do you think it is?
Well, that looks about right. Do you see anything in front of it or behind it?
As far as toes or
Like behind you or in front of you, going out like a trackway?
I'm looking. I think that'd be the left foot. If that's a toe. Let me check behind me.
That would have to be a right footer. They'd be walking into that tree.
Well, that's what I thought.
It's all rock up through there, though.
Let me come back here. That'd be a hook. I can't say for sure.
Well, let's follow it on up for a little bit and see if anything stands out. I don't know if that's partial right there or not. I can't tell.
I was usually carrot patch if it's the path they take, regularly.
Well, this is fairly clear right here, so. You just hear that?
Mm-hmm. I heard a little whistling a little bit ago.
I doubt that the microphone picked it up, so I'm going to imitate it for the ones that couldn't hear it, but it sounded like it.
Oh, I'll see. Keep an eye out for
There, I
that.
probably just made it mad.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't ask. There's an X right there in front of you.
Yeah, right in front of my legs.
Okay.
I'm looking for something a little more big and obvious.
Yeah. Just get that impression.
Yeah, right there.
It's about the size of what was down that creek. A little bit wider, it might be a female.
Forward on the edge of the woods to start finding much, but it's starting to thicken up a little bit.
Kind of watching the base of these trees to see if I see any sitting spots.
I'm kind of watching out about 60 yards ahead of us to see if anything bobs its head up and down. So we don't know what the temperament of these are yet, so
I tried to put the thought out there that we weren't there here to create harm.
up on this hill would be a good place to put out some voice recorders and stuff. Now this looks like a fairly used path right through here. And there's the smell. I just caught a whiff. No, it's just a light breeze. It's coming from, I think, kind of my left a little bit. It's a big drop off down there though, great big ravine. And this is all mashed down, the footprints and stuff to it right here. I guess if you step in a pile of poo, you'll know you have arrived. must be just a little different than yours because I'm not picking it up.
It's not farther.
I'm thinking of getting down in that ravine and working my way up and come around the back side of that. I don't know if that would be too noisy and take too long, but yeah, there's something over there about 65 yards out on that hill. It's squatted down. Alright guys, we're going to try to ninja our way around to the back side of that and see if we have any luck. We will catch you on the next try. Thanks. Well guys, we're standing here looking across this ravine, and about 80 yards across and 60 feet up the other hill slope, Head and Shoulders just came out from behind one of the big pine trees and then ducked back in and took off to the right behind all that heavy green cover. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find it again in the viewfinder. I can see the dark spot over there where it's crouched down on the hillside, but it's not moving. Left a few yards and see if it moves to reposition or something.
You try to make extra noise.
It just went off to my right through the hillside. It's gone. I just heard something there. As soon as you got down there and stopped, it was right straight through there, all the way behind those biggest trees in the back, and I could see movement go off to that direction behind all that green. Well, that may have been our one shot for the day. I don't know.
No, just considering we just got here, it wasn't that. Just see, because we had two different peepers. So with that being said, it's hard telling how many are actually out here.
Alright guys, so this is this new piece of property. If you want to see any more of it, let me know. We're gonna continue to film and do some other stuff here. It might take a few different trips out here, maybe more, I don't know at this point, but if you care to see any of it, let us know and we'll post it. Appreciate everybody tagging along, and we'll catch you down the trail. Thanks. Well, guys, we made our way through the hills and hollers and to the back side of the little farmette. We've got arches and limb structures all up here around behind the goat pasture and the wood lot. We've been finding foot tracks and pathways and all kinds of stuff galore. I'll zoom in here in just a second and show you probably about as close as what they'd want me to show you of the farm area. I don't know if we can see the goats up through the distance. But this is the area where they heard all of the howling and whooping and commotion. And looking at the trackways running through here, I don't doubt it. We've still yet to find any really significant ground glyphs, but
Or ground nests.
or the nest looking structures, but once again ours really didn't start forming out there until after we paid attention to them and started acknowledging that they were out there and started leaving, you know, the apples and gifts and stuff. That there's a better shot through there possibly of the goats in that back pasture, and just show you how close this creek boundary is to it. So possibly goat was on the menu according to the landowners. A few of them went disappearing out here, so that makes you frown, doesn't it?
Yes, I love baby goats. Makes me proud.
Just be careful walking. Yeah, that looks like a sitting area right there.
It's about the first that we've seen that was mashed down, framed up.
Just be careful walking over the logs and stuff. That's warm enough now. All the creepy crawlies are out. Those neighbors' dogs are sounding off over something. Have to bring a machete out here if we want to bust our way through that back there.
Mm-hmm. It's thick and going through that tree.
Yeah, I saw a place where it looked like they've been crossing the creek over there, getting up into that pasture. I just, from our observation, I would say that they've definitely got some here in the area. I'm going to try to zoom in right over here. There's some X's or a Union Jack looking thing right there on the opposite side of the creek bank. So anyway, it might definitely be worth coming back out here and checking this out. We will catch you guys later. Appreciate it.